Listen, man, listen. First of all, okay, Landry Fields, if the coach was to allow him to get a flow more in the game, you probably would get a little bit more of a consistent basis out of Landry Fields. Secondly, in regards to the Laker game, hey, man, even the sun shines on the dogs ass twice, once in a while. Basically, we beat y'all. You know what I'm saying? However way did it happen? Because of the fact that it was a long, how sometimes those teams that's coming from the West Coast come to the East Coast and play those early Sunday games.
Doesn't matter. We destroyed Boston 2 days before. We were all on the East Coast.
Amount of excuses, but listen, with the whole D'Antoni situation is that he's so arrogant. And this is not something that's new. This was said to him while he was in Phoenix as well. Listen, he's so arrogant that he does not take into effect sometimes the caliber and the level of talent that you have on your team. There's some things within your offense or some things on your team that you may have to tailor towards your personnel. This is the NBA. In college, you're able to do that. In the NBA, because of the fact that you have a lot of transactions going on, you may have to adjust certain things. And maybe, like Mark said, maybe this is the type of offense that is needed for an Amari Stoudemire to be running up and down the court, like he did in Phoenix. You know what I'm saying? He hasn't basically figured out that, look, dog, just because you went to the Western Conference Finals one time, your offense is the end-all, be-all. This ain't the Showtime Lakers. And even the Showtime Lakers play defense.
Can I ask for an explanation then?
Let's hear it. What you got?
How come you lost 11 times in January? You lost 5 times in February. And have y'all even won a game?
Haven't won a game in March.
So, something we don't know. Come on.
But during the February time, what team was on the floor most of February?
You making it seem like Amari wasn't there at all. Carmelo
was hurt.
Carmelo missed a lot of games,
and Amari was out too.
Amari missed a week.
You don't take this into account. The teams that we were beating when Jeremy Lin exploded to become Lin Sanity, those particular teams were sub 500 teams. We're playing better teams, Boston. We're playing better teams, Philly. We're playing better teams, Miami. We're playing Chicago. We're about to play Indiana on the back-to-back on Friday and Saturday. The caliber of the teams that we were beating were not very good teams. People don't realize that.
I love that.
I mean, what? He was not. Jeremy Lin was not running into Derrick Rose one night and running into Deron Williams another night. You're not. People are not taking into the account the different teams that we're playing.
So you're saying the win over Atlanta, Dallas, the Lakers, Minnesota, who was an over 500 team?
They didn't have
Joe Johnson wasn't in that game.
Whose fault is that? You act like that's my fault.
Yeah, but you bring it up. But to
Utah, a good team. They had everybody.
Utah is a 500 team.
But I mean,
okay.
But you turn around, you lost to
Utah.
You lost to a whole bunch of other school teams.
First of all, I'm not gonna sit here and make excuses for the losses. No more than I'm gonna sit here and say that Jeremy Lin is great because of the wins.
I'm not saying Jeremy Lin is great.
Well, that's essentially what you're saying. Because the point that it sounds like you trying to make is in February when Lin Sanity exploded on the scene and you didn't have Amari for a week and you didn't have Carmelo for 2 weeks, when the main person that the media wanted you to be paying attention to was Jeremy Lin, all of a sudden the 2 players who I just mentioned are the reason now that they're not playing good basketball.
Honestly, I don't think it's Amari. I think he's hurt. I agree with you that he's hurt. I just don't think all 3 of them can coexist and the Knicks to win. Because when Amari was there, they were still winning games.
When you say all 3, as in who?
Amari, Jeremy Lin, and Anthony. Okay, ever since Anthony's gotten back, they've won like 2 games.
Let's take this in quick hits. All
right.
When you have a superstar, you do not get rid of the superstar. You know who you get rid of? You get rid of the coach. Okay? That's what you do. You get rid of the coach. When Reggie Jackson and Billy Martin didn't get along, who got fired? Billy Martin. He got fired. Okay? When Paul Westphal was getting on the nerves of a young Magic Johnson, who got fired? Paul Westphal. It don't work this way, Big Rule. This is what I'm telling you. And the only time that Carmelo and Amari have played together was under this one coach. Now, talk to me in a year when they got Jeff Van Gundy coaching them, or if they got Phil Jackson coaching them, or if they got Mike Woodson coaching them, or if they got Big Rube coaching them. Talk to me then.
Hey,
if
look,
they can't play together then I will buy into what you're selling. But for right now, it's the system that this matter of fact, it ain't even a system, K-Dub. It's not a system.
It's not really a system. But back to Rube, you know what? How about this? You saying all this big three and all this other stuff. How many games has Jeremy Lin won? While he was there, he won about what, 7 games?
Himself or that 10-game winning streak?
The fact that we said that Jeremy Lin won is disturbing.
I never said Jeremy Lin won.
What I'm trying to prove a point is that they were winning games before Jeremy Lin was on the team, and they only have 18 wins.
No, they didn't.
Not the end all be all.
They weren't winning games.
Different factors that were going on when Jeremy Lin came into effect. You didn't have Baron Davis playing. You didn't have a hand injury that is obviously affecting Tyson Chandler. You had Jared Jeffries, who hasn't played in 4 games. There's a whole lot of different ways that you have to take into account. But if someone that doesn't watch the Knicks, they don't know that, and they just turn on ESPN and go with what everybody else wants to talk about.
The Knicks won exactly.
You have 18 wins, correct?
8 of which was before Jeremy Lin even played.
So since Jeremy Lin is playing, you won more games than you had before you started playing with him. That's just numbers. Numbers don't lie. And then number two, you're talking about, well, Jared Jeffries didn't play. First of all, he made Tyson Chandler look like an all-star when Jeremy Lin got there. Tyson Chandler scored more points in that time than he did probably all of last year.
That's because the Knicks didn't have a point guard.
And then on top of that,
point guard, none.
If that doesn't happen, who is Nick Novak?
All right, so where are you going with this?
What I'm saying,
let's back up.
This is what I'm saying.
Get to the point.
This is what I'm saying. You can sit here, you can say, D'Antoni will probably get fired.
He should.
Can you say, is this D'Antoni's fault? No.
Why not?
I disagree. One, you have an unhealthy Stoudemire. Management needs to be like, Stoudemire, you need to get hurt.
Again, quick hits. How long has D'Antoni been the coach?
2 years.
4. This is his 4th year. And this is the 4th year of mediocrity. And this is the 4th year, and this is the best team he's had. It's time to him go.
Yeah.
And I should have listened to K-Dub 4 years ago when they hired his ass. If I'd have listened to the NBA analyst K-Dub 4 years ago when they hired him, I wouldn't be so fired up right now. We're going to move a little bit off of the Knicks right now because...
Didn't they make the playoffs last year?
They made the playoffs last year.
And they were terrible. Didn't they get swept in the second round?
They made the playoffs. They probably wouldn't have gotten swept if Amari didn't get hurt dunking in the layup line, but that's, I'm going to digress on that. K-Dub, let's talk a little bit about some movement in the NBA before we finish up your segment.
Really, ain't a lot of movement right now. It's basically a watch and see moment in Orlando, trying to figure out whether or not Orlando's going to deal Dwight Howard. Reportedly, management has went to Dwight Howard and said over the next 48 hours they're going to do whatever it is that they need to do to bring talent to Orlando to entice him to stay there. If they don't have anything that's concrete that looks like that will better their team, they will look into dealing him. Personally, I think that he'll probably stay there for the rest of the season, and Orlando will just, roll the dice when the summertime comes. If he leaves, they wind up, even though this isn't the equal to Dwight Howard, but they have a lot of free money. So, you can see Orlando possibly signing someone else in the near future, whether that's a year, 2 years, that's yet to be seen. But that's pretty much the only thing that's going on in Orlando. I heard that supposedly Orlando wants to look into Monte Ellis. But, you'll hear a lot of stuff between now and Thursday.
Real quick, let's get the games of the week.
Tonight, you got Miami against Orlando. Tomorrow, I would say Philly and Indiana, and Miami at Chicago. Friday night is Miami and Philly. Saturday, Philly and Chicago. Sunday, Orlando against Miami. And Monday, Charlotte against Orlando. Yo, check this out. From going forward, since I'm so pissed about the Knicks from now on, nobody gets a game of the week. You can't. Ain't no more game of the weeks for nobody that's under 500.
There you go.
Just go ahead and put that rule out there right now. Yo, I thought about that, man. I'm and they letting me down, man. It's hard being a New York sports fan.
It is, especially when your team hasn't won a game since 16 months before you were born. Last time, actually, a few months, 13 months before I was born was the last time the Knicks won an NBA title. Okay, I appreciate your input as you come with good information every single week. I guess we got a little bit fired up this week, but that's all right.
Man, real quick, just not to cut you off, man, real quick. Yo, shout out to like TJ Ford. For people that don't know, TJ Ford actually used to play for San Antonio. He played for Toronto. He retired yesterday, and actually,
whoa, injuries
due to some spine and back issues that he had, and he had
shout out
scare. So just want to give him a shout out or what have you. It's a wrap for him in the league.
Yep, good, easy passing, good passing, whatever the saying is. Happy pastures.
Good deal. K-Dub, we're going to leave it there, bro. Appreciate it, man. We're going to talk to you next week.
All right, Joe. Peace.
All right, peace.
Noogman 25.
All right, we're going to leave. We're going to leave it there. We're going to leave it there. When we come back, got a very, very special guest that we're going to have on the line. Spark of Life. What is Spark of Life? The next segment, you're going to find out. Ain't no half stepping. Marcus J. Be back in a minute.